As Lyra and Kai ventured deeper into the cave, the air grew warmer and the walls began to shimmer with an eerie glow. The sound of their footsteps echoed through the vast chamber, amplifying their anticipation. They knew they were entering Drake's domain. The cave opened into a large cavern, the ceiling high and arched. In the center of the cavern lay a massive dragon, its scales glistening in the dim light. The dragon's eyes were closed, but Lyra could sense its awareness. This was no ordinary dragon. This was Drake, the exiled and powerful creature they sought. Kai stepped forward cautiously, his sword at the ready. "Drake, we come in peace," he called out, his voice steady but respectful. "We seek your help to fulfill a prophecy that will save Eldoria." Drake's eyes snapped open, and he rose to his full height, towering over them. His eyes, a piercing blue, studied them intently. "Who dares to enter my lair?" he rumbled, his voice deep and resonant. Lyra stepped forward, her heart pounding but her resolve unwavering. "I am Lyra, princess of the Aurora Forest. This is Kai, a warrior from the Crystal Plains. We need your help to gather 4 symbolic artifacts to protect Eldoria from impending darkness." Drake's gaze shifted between them, his expression unreadable. "Why should I trust you?" he asked, his voice filled with suspicion. "I have been betrayed before." Lyra took a deep breath, meeting Drake's gaze with determination. "Because we are not here to use you or deceive you. We are here to ask for your help and to prove ourselves worthy of your trust." Drake seemed to consider her words. He lowered his head, his eyes narrowing. "Prove yourselves, you say? Very well. I will test your courage and strength. Only then will I decide if you are worthy of my aid." Without warning, Drake unleashed a torrent of fire, testing their reflexes. Lyra and Kai dodged the flames, their movements quick and precise. Lyra drew her bow and fired an arrow that struck the ground near Drake's claws, a warning shot that showed her skill and restraint. Kai, meanwhile, charged forward, his sword gleaming in the firelight. He leaped into the air, landing a few feet from Drake and holding his ground. "We are not your enemies, Drake," he said firmly. "We are allies." Drake paused, the fire dying in his throat. He seemed impressed by their bravery and skill. "Very well," he said, his voice softer but still commanding. "You have shown courage. But one final test remains." Drake transformed into his human form, a tall, imposing figure with dragon-like features. "You must face me in combat," he said. "Only by besting me will you earn my trust." Lyra and Kai exchanged a glance, understanding the gravity of the challenge. They nodded in unison, ready to face Drake's final test. The battle was fierce. Drake, even in his human form, was incredibly strong and fast. Lyra and Kai had to use every ounce of their skill and coordination to keep up with him. Lyra's arrows flew true, and Kai's sword strikes were precise, but Drake countered each move with ease. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Lyra saw an opening. She signaled to Kai, and they executed a coordinated attack. Kai distracted Drake with a series of quick strikes, giving Lyra the chance to land a critical hit with her arrow. The arrow struck Drake's shoulder, causing him to stagger. Breathing heavily, Drake raised his hand, signaling the end of the fight. "Enough," he said, a hint of respect in his voice. "You have proven yourselves. I will join you on your quest." Relief washed over Lyra and Kai. They had done it. They had earned Drake's trust and secured his powerful alliance. Drake nodded, his expression serious but respectful. "Let us not waste any more time. The darkness is growing, and Eldoria needs us. Together, we will gather the artifacts and protect our world." With Drake now part of their team, Lyra and Kai felt more confident than ever. They left the cave, ready to continue their journey and face the challenges that lay ahead. The power of the dragon was now on their side, and they were one step closer to fulfilling the prophecy. With Drake now a part of their team, Lyra and Kai felt a renewed sense of determination as they journeyed towards the Misty Isles. The path led them through dense forests and across vast plains, until they finally reached the coast where the mystical Misty Isles lay shrouded in perpetual fog. The sea was calm but eerie, the mist swirling in intricate patterns over the water's surface. As they boarded a small boat to cross the waters, Lyra couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. The Misty Isles were known for their enchanting beauty, but also for the sirens that dwelled there, creatures of great power and mystery. Drake, in his human form, took the oars, his strength easily propelling the boat through the misty waters. Kai kept a watchful eye on the surroundings, his hand never far from his sword. Lyra sat at the bow, her senses alert for any sign of danger. As they approached the shores of the Misty Isles, the sound of a haunting melody filled the air. The song was beautiful, almost otherworldly, and it seemed to tug at their very souls. Lyra felt a strange compulsion to follow the sound, but she fought against it, knowing the danger of siren songs. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the mist, a young woman with flowing silver hair and eyes that shone like the moon. She stood on a rock, singing the mesmerizing melody. This was Mira, the siren they sought. "Mira," Lyra called out, her voice steady but respectful. "We seek your help to fulfill a prophecy that will save Eldoria." Mira stopped singing, her eyes narrowing as she regarded the group. "Many have come seeking aid from the sirens, but few are worthy. Why should I help you?" Lyra stepped forward, her gaze unwavering. "We have come to gather 4 symbolic artifacts to protect Eldoria from an impending darkness. We need your powers to complete our quest." Mira studied them for a moment, then gracefully descended from her perch. "I sense truth in your words, Lyra of the Aurora Forest. But trust is not easily given. You must prove your intentions." Before Lyra could respond, the water around them began to churn, and from the depths emerged a group of merfolk, armed with tridents and spears. Mira raised her hand, and the merfolk paused, awaiting her command. "You must pass a trial," Mira said. "If you succeed, I will join you. If you fail, you will not leave these shores." Kai tightened his grip on his sword, and Drake shifted slightly, ready for action. Lyra nodded, accepting the challenge. "What is the trial?" Mira smiled, a hint of mischief in her eyes. "A test of heart and spirit. You must retrieve the Pearl of the Abyss, a sacred artifact hidden deep within the ocean's depths. It is guarded by a powerful sea serpent. Only those with true courage and pure intentions can claim it." Lyra, Kai, and Drake exchanged determined glances. They had faced many challenges before, and they would face this one together. "We accept your trial," Lyra said. Mira nodded, her expression serious. "Very well. Follow me." She led them to a hidden cave on the island shore. Inside, a narrow passageway descended into the ocean's depths. Mira spoke an incantation, and a shimmering bubble formed around them, allowing them to breathe underwater. As they descended into the depths, the light from the surface faded, replaced by the eerie glow of bioluminescent sea creatures. The water grew colder, and the pressure increased, but the bubble protected them. Finally, they reached a vast underwater cavern. In the center of the cavern lay the Pearl of the Abyss, its surface glowing with a soft, ethereal light. But between them and the pearl coiled a massive sea serpent, its scales shimmering like polished armor. The serpent's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as it regarded the intruders. It hissed, bearing rows of sharp teeth. This was their final test. Drake transformed into his dragon form, his size and strength matching that of the sea serpent. Lyra readied her bow, and Kai drew his sword, preparing for battle. The serpent lunged, and the cavern erupted into chaos. The battle was fierce and intense. Drake's fire breath, even underwater, created a searing cloud of steam that blinded the serpent temporarily. Lyra's arrows found their mark, and Kai's sword strikes were precise and powerful. After a grueling struggle, they managed to wound the serpent severely. It retreated, disappearing into the dark depths. Breathing heavily, Lyra approached the Pearl of the Abyss and carefully lifted it. "We did it," she said, her voice filled with relief. As they ascended back to the surface, Mira awaited them, her expression unreadable. When they emerged from the water, she approached Lyra and placed her hand on the pearl. "You have proven yourselves," Mira said. "I will join you on your quest." With Mira now part of their team, they felt more complete than ever. The power of the siren and the dragon combined with Lyra's magic and Kai's strength made them a formidable force. Together, they left the Misty Isles, ready to face the challenges ahead and fulfill the prophecy that would save Eldoria.